Welcome to the Biotech Signals series of the Micromolar podcast. Today is Thursday, July 2nd, 2026.
President Trump pledged new tariffs on imported generic medicines as part of an effort to bring pharmaceutical manufacturing back to the United States. The policy could have enormous consequences for drug prices and shortages, because the U.S. depends heavily on overseas manufacturers for inexpensive, widely used medicines.
Repligen is acquiring BioLife Solutions to gain critical products used to preserve and transport cell therapies from companies including Bristol-Myers Squibb, Johnson & Johnson, and Gilead. The deal gives Repligen deeper exposure to the infrastructure behind commercial CAR-T treatments rather than betting on any single therapy.
Novartis is moving decisively into antibody-drug conjugates through a major deal involving Mirix, ending CEO Vas Narasimhan's earlier reluctance to chase the increasingly crowded modality. The change suggests Novartis now believes Mirix's approach is sufficiently differentiated to strengthen its oncology pipeline.
A late-stage failure for Wainua has significantly narrowed AstraZeneca's path in ATTR and weakened one of the growth opportunities supporting its goal of reaching $80 billion in annual revenue by 2030. The setback also raises the stakes for several other high-risk clinical readouts across the company's pipeline.
GSK is discontinuing development of the cough drug that formed the centerpiece of its roughly $2 billion acquisition of Bellis Health. The failure damages the original logic of the transaction and leaves GSK with fewer options for recovering the value it paid.
Long-term data for Insmed's pulmonary arterial hypertension therapy appear to support the durability of its clinical benefit. The results strengthen the drug's case as a potential multi-billion-dollar product in a market where physicians need treatments that can meaningfully alter disease progression.
The FDA approved a starter dose of subcutaneous Leqembi, expanding the administration options available for the Alzheimer's treatment. A more convenient formulation could reduce dependence on infusion centers and make long-term treatment more manageable for patients and caregivers.
Kyverna Therapeutics is moving toward what could become the first regulatory submission for a CAR-T therapy in autoimmune disease. Success would represent an important expansion of engineered cell therapy beyond cancer and could reshape treatment for severe autoimmune conditions.
Royalty Pharma is providing $425 million in exchange for a portion of future revenue from AstraZeneca's ATTR medicine. The transaction demonstrates continued investor confidence in the commercial durability of rare disease drugs, even as AstraZeneca faces setbacks elsewhere in its ATTR portfolio.
Novo Nordisk is challenging advertisements that compare doses of competing GLP-1 medicines, arguing that Lilly's presentation could mislead patients and prescribers. The lawsuit shows how the obesity rivalry is expanding from clinical performance and supply capacity into marketing, legal strategy, and consumer perception.
Crystalis secured a substantial Series B round to advance a gout drug positioned against Sobi's competing treatment. The financing provides enough capital to pursue late-stage development and reflects investor confidence that gout remains a commercially attractive market with room for improved therapies.
Mentari secured a major financing round to continue developing a new migraine therapy. The size of the investment signals confidence that the program can compete in a market that already includes established CGRP medicines, but still leaves many patients without adequate relief.
Summit Therapeutics released longer-term survival findings for Western patients receiving its cancer therapy, adding information that could help assess whether earlier benefits are durable across populations. However, limited context and the absence of a complete comparative dataset make it difficult to draw definitive conclusions.
Celldex is discontinuing an antibody program after it failed in a mid-stage study involving patients with intensely itchy skin nodules. The setback removes a pipeline opportunity in a market that has attracted substantial interest following the success of newer immunology drugs.
Jupiter is acquiring rights to an MDMA-based program as it moves into psychedelic medicine. The agreement arrives as major pharmaceutical companies validate the sector, but the program will still need to navigate difficult questions involving safety, treatment supervision, and regulatory acceptance.
The type 1 diabetes pipeline is increasingly focused on treatments that delay disease, preserve beta cell function, or replace insulin-producing cells. Researchers now believe multiple therapeutic approaches could coexist, creating a broader market than the one established by Sanofi's Zield.
Those are all the biotech signals for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Micromolar podcast.